Good morning. Welcome to day 34, episode 5 of my small account challenge with the Momo strategy. I see we do have something moving this morning. Sitting down here. So it looks like we have AUUD moving. High right now is 210. The problem with this stock is that it's a little bit overextended on the 5-minute right now. We've already missed most of the move back here from 6:20, 30. They released the news at 6 a.m. It's up 63%, has a low float, and the chart looks okay. I would be looking for this to get above 225. Because then it would be clear of the 20 moving average on the daily. And it would be in a little bit of a gap here. Up to 350. But I usually don't like to trade before 7 a.m. because we lack a little bit of volume since there's a lot of brokers that don't allow you to trade before 7 a.m. depending on your account type. And MACD just crossed over. Once again, we are a bit extended. First, second, third, fourth. This would be our 5th pullback on the 1-minute. I think this does need to consolidate a little bit unless it gets another surge of volume at 7 a.m., but it's a little bit risky up here. Other than that, we have HCWB is our top leading gainer, but it's below VWAP, and it's penny stock, million share float, not interested. PDIC looks like it sold off really hard yesterday. This is a common theme with these Chinese stocks. They get pumped up, and then the next day they just sell off. Short sellers love Chinese stocks. We have BIYA made a move after hours. This made a move quite a few, well, not too long ago actually, May 5th. Too cheap now. I'm not particularly interested in this. And we have YMAT that made a move during regular hours. Another big move from $1, well, less than $1, 78 cents up to $2.20. We're on the back side here. In continuation, no interest in that. No interest in anything else. We're pretty much watching AUUD this morning for this pullback. It's a pretty high volume pullback in terms of selling on the 5-minute. It'll be interesting to see what it does here. A little bit of increasing volume. I do like the headline on this merger for unified AI platform. The only issue with this stock that I can see, besides it being overextended, is that it's only $2. It's a little bit cheaper. MACD is still negative, but it's curling. It's very thickly traded. That's the other issue. It's a little bit surprising to me how thickly traded this is for a 492,000 share float. According to day trade dash scanners, it's a 492,000 share float, which is really low. So it should not be this thickly traded. So it's a little bit interesting how there could be this many shares being traded with that low of a float. Once again, I apologize. I can't show level 2 on the screen with trade zero. I could do it with the simulator. That wasn't a problem, but I can't show live market data on stream without potentially getting in trouble. I know some people do it. Nobody says anything, but I would prefer to follow the rules where I must. not have any chance of getting in trouble. Or if Trade Zero bans my account, I wouldn't have any other brokers that I would be able to use at the moment that I would want to use. They're squeezing up a little bit here. MACD's still negative. So I would want to see it break and hold 210. Lab popping up on the high of day scanners, but I'm not interested in ELAB. It's notorious stock for not trading well, so I'm not particularly interested in it. You can see how choppy it's trading below the highs when it's curling right now. It's popping up, doing a bit of a squeeze, and then dropping back down, forming those topping tails. This is why I don't like trading curling patterns during a gold market. Too choppy. When it's breaking out and it's showing its strength, that's when it's less likely for that to happen. Short sellers usually cover around the highs rather than aggressively shorting them. Sometimes they do, but a lot less strength pushing it down. We do still have increasing volume on AUUD. MACD's close to crossing over. You can see on the 5-minute, volume is close to overtaking that previous red candle volume. But it ends up closing as a gravestone. Isn't a good sign. I don't know. We'll keep watching it. There's nothing else to watch right now. This is the only stock that I would consider, but it is thickly traded, so I'm curious what the actual float is. Well, maybe let's see what Trade Zero has to say about this stock. According to Trade Zero, it has high float interest and it has a low float. I don't know. We're not trading this while it's consolidating in this range. Wait for it to break. Pretty cold in my basement. I turn on the fireplace. Hmm. Yeah, Ross is talking about the concerns with the float that I mentioned earlier about how there's like 70,000, 80,000 share sellers popping up on the ask, and it's very thickly traded. And like, how is that possible with a 492,000 share float on AUD? What is the actual float? Some people are saying it's 5 million. It looks like AUD is selling off a bit now, which is a bit unfortunate. It's too bad this didn't happen a little bit later. Probably would have traded this area. You can see on the 5-minute, there's that nice hammer that formed. If I go back and I look at the 1 minute, well, this giant arrow is kind of in the way, honestly. If I go and look at the 1 minute, the 5-minute close was right here in this small green bodied candle. And that's when the big spike in volume occurred. This is one of the patterns that I noticed when I was developing the VWAP strategies, is that if you look for a 5-minute or a 2-minute candle close, there tends to be a lot of volume that comes in when the 5-minute closes like this. It's a nice candle. So right here we had MACD cross back over. We had a nice green bodied candle. We would have bought for the break of 150 at 20 cents on a $1 stock. That's pretty good. I do trade $1 stocks with VWAP strategies. I suppose I may not have taken this trade actually because I'm not trading VWAP strategies right now, but I'm not sure. I mean, I might make exceptions for obvious setups like that when it's a big dragonfly or a big hammer on the 5-minute. But those usually work pretty well. Back here, there were a bunch of topping tails as well, so it would have been a little bit difficult to find a good place to get in. Maybe on this first pullback, 175. Could have got in there. I was trading a bit choppy though. It doesn't matter. We don't sit down at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. We sit down at 7 because a lot of brokers enable pre-market trading. And I mean, I I can't get up any earlier, to be honest. It's already difficult for me to get up at 6 a.m. to be ready for 7. I tend to be in a rush to start the stream as I press the snooze button. So we got 3.5 minutes to 7:30. Today is Friday, so it can be a little bit colder on Fridays. The scanners look okay today with 3 stocks being up a decent amount. 200%, 100%, 75%. But the problem is that this comes with a bit of dispersed attention, as Ross said on his stream. HCWB is moving up, but it's too cheap for me to consider. But this is stealing a lot of volume. 70 million shares of volume for the day, and in the past couple of candles, we have 10 million shares of volume on the 5-minute, 3 million right now. This candle is halfway through forming. This was an after hours move with support at 90 and support at the $0.50 whole dollar. But this is both a 6 million share and a $1 stock. It's not hanging around VWAP. I don't really want to trade this. TDIC is hanging around VWAP, but this is just a bounce off the low, dead cat bounce after just absolutely getting destroyed yesterday. Coming back all the way down to $1. MRNO had made a bit of a move after hours here, but it's popped up, sold off, popped back up, sold off, popped up, sold off, coming back up, 55 cents. So when you have the top 5 leading gainers all having a significant amount of volume, it's going to be difficult for any one stock to get all the attention. So, 30 seconds to 7:30. We'll see if we get any news. This is the last day of the week. Unless something pops up on Wildcard Friday that looks really good. Has less than a million share float, is between $5 to $9 in price, has good news, looks good on the daily. Unless something like that pops up, I'm probably just going to continue to trade with quarter size. I don't want to make a big mistake and go into the red in the last day of the week. We made back our loss on Monday. We're just up a few bucks. This will pretty much be a break-even week. But even for Ross, this will be a break-even week. It might even be a loss week for him. I don't remember what he earned on Monday. But I know he lost like 3,000 bucks yesterday. He might be break-even or slightly red unless he gets a good trade today. But for me, I'm kind of in the same position, right? Like I'm not far away from being red for the week. Only a few bucks in the green because this week has just been super, super slow. 2 no trade days. Monday only having 1 opportunity. Yesterday, I barely scraped an opportunity from the open. So today, it's probably best to be cautious. Come back next week, and hopefully we have a better week with some more news headlines. But I'll only be aggressive and start with half-size positions or maybe even full-size positions, only in the circumstance that I talked about. Something with really good news, less than 3 million share float, ideally less than a million share float, in between 5 to 10 bucks. and it checks all the other boxes. Otherwise, if it's not something that's good enough to capture traders' attention, things are just going to continue to be dispersed across all these penny stocks. I don't see any 7:30 a.m. news. So AUUD right now, I'm understanding my market corrections properly. It's in danger of being on downtrend right now, even on the 15-minute. Because you had a higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this could just be a false breakout right now. And it's probably going to come back down. Very odd. Why is the marker doing... Why does the brush tool do that? I was wrong on the 5-minute. But it's all weird. These other time frames. Odd. But anyway, this has potential of being on downtrend right now. So unless it can come back up, hold VWAP, make a higher high, break through 210. SLE popping up, but I think this was just earnings report, right? Financial results. I don't know how much. I had a thought about revenue the other day based on my understanding of business. So the news on SLE says gross Q1 2026 increased to 3 million compared to 2.7 million. Gross margin improved to 36% compared to 32% in Q4. Which is good. So theoretically speaking, an increase in revenue should result in an increase in the valuation of the company, assuming that in in financial markets, the price per share is a representation of the value of the company. So if you have a revenue increase of 100% year over year, theoretically, the value of the company should increase by 100% in response to that. Which is why you saw a big move on MOBX the other day, which reported over a 100% increase in revenue. Even though it was a grinder, it still did go up. I wouldn't say revenue reporting is usually a parabolic type of news catalyst, but it does result in the stock going up. Because you have a lot of long bias traders that'll jump on, maybe swing traders. They see that increase in revenue and they'll say, okay, well, the stock is undervalued then. Because one of the methods to calculate the value of the company is through earnings. But at least that's my understanding of it anyways. So for me, trading financial results will depend on how large the percentage increase year over year is. If it's like 300% increase, then that means that the stock should be valued 300% higher than what it was originally, right? Assuming that that's not already taken into account by the market before the news headline was released. So SLE here, it's only up 20%. It's not up enough for me to consider trading it. It's a bit of a garbage stock too. You can see it's just been selling off since the beginning of time. 120,000 is its max price on the chart. That's why I wasn't in a hurry to jump into it while I was talking there. Just a stock that's sold off, had to do a bunch of reverse splits to maintain its place on the NASDAQ. And it's only earnings report headline. So this isn't going to be the stock that's going to shoot up 100% today. This is not. Media company. So, I mean, don't be fooled by the fact that it's only a 1,000,000 share float and it's a $5 stock. I mean, it does meet 5 pillars of stock selection. But you do have to pay attention to the context. You know, I would be curious to know if Ross is saying some of the same things I'm saying. Like I said, I do have him muted up sometimes when there's nothing going on. I don't have him muted or unmuted right now. Maybe I should record him on my other computer so I can come back and hear what he has to say about some of these stocks. Interesting. So AUD is rolling back up a little bit. I'm surprised that SLE actually breaks through the high there. It doesn't look like it's going to give any more than a break from 550 up to 6. So Ross did take a trade on that, which is interesting. You can see how choppy it's trading though. Uh-oh. He went red on it. I'm watching AUD. Doesn't look like it's going to break right away, so I'll just switch here. So it broke through 550. Ross took a trade from 550 up to 6. But I think he added up here. And it just tanked. And he went red on the trade. See, I mean, this is why I didn't want to trade the stock. because stuff like that. Ross, I mean, Ross did see the breakthrough 550. So if he got in 550, got out, and didn't overstay his welcome there, then he could have made money for sure. He saw the potential that I didn't see. I'm not saying I know better than Ross or anything. Maybe that was just completely unexpected, but I don't know. These garbage stocks tend to do this from what I've seen. So I just don't like touching them unless they have a really strong news catalyst. If it's not a really strong news catalyst, then you're in danger of that happening, in my opinion. But it could crawl back up. I don't know, but it would be pretty hard to trust after that rejection. So it sounds like I just unmuted his stream. It sounds like he's actually going to trade this if it curls back up to 6. It's a bit surprising to me. Maybe he sees something that I don't. It is holding the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA on the 10-second here still, even after that rejection. So it could certainly curl back up. AUUD is still struggling to get back up above the highs there. Formed a gravestone doji on the 5-minute at around $2. SLE news, we made an extra 190K this quarter. Yeah, 36% sounds good, but it's all relative, right? If a stock that's making $1 billion makes an extra 300 million, that's $300 million. That's a lot. If it's a company that's making 10 grand, suddenly 36% is only 3,600 bucks. And I have his stream unmuted. I'm hoping that he says something about his opinion about SLE again. He probably said it earlier when I had him on mute. But I'm curious as to why he's even watching this now, because it's a tweezer top back here, the high volume rejection up at 6. Ton of rejections topping tails. The garbage stock, it's only up 40%. I'm gonna keep my hands off it because this is my own opinion. I don't want him to influence me. I'm gonna watch him to see what he does. He's looking for the breakthrough 6. He didn't end up taking a trade on this. He was watching it 610, but ends up rejecting there. So he says he's looking to maybe trade the pullback. But you know, opinion of a beginner trader, I've only been trading for 9 months, so I could be completely wrong, of course. But I think he's getting a little bit stubborn on this stock. Losing on it. if he decides to take a trade on this. Two high volume selling rejections. MACD about to cross over. Tweezer top back here. There's a nice candle. But even the nice candle has had a rejection. Yeah, it looks like he just got up and walked away. He didn't end up taking a trade on it, which is good. I think that's a good decision. So 30 seconds to 8 a.m. See if we get any news. I mean, just a quick note. In the past, I might have considered trading around here because that's a retest of VWAP setup. We're still positive on MACD. And you can see on the 10-second how we double bottomed here. It tried to break below twice and failed. So you could buy. So you could buy for the retest here, the breakthrough 550, expecting a squeeze from 550 up to 6. For this sort of a bear trap setup. Bear trap, retest, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not trading those setups right now. I'm waiting for breakouts. So we're waiting for news. SPI popping up, but the float is too high. Aerospace and defense. Easy to borrow. That's can't be the right stock. I mean, the military sector is a little bit of a theme with the war in Iran. This has blue sky up at 9. $9.16, yeah. Quite a few levels of resistance there. AUUD breaking through 210. New high is 214. So actually, it has fresh news at 8 a.m. 560% revenue growth, artificial intelligence sales surge. I mean, it is a good news headline for SPAI. It's just a 9.4 million share float and easy to borrow. It could curl back up though. As I mentioned earlier, I mean, 560% revenue growth in the first quarter is, that's great. But I'm waiting for SPAI to prove its strength before I consider trading it. Right now, it's only up 14%. It's not up enough. But AUUD, I couldn't hold 210. Gosh dang it. Why doesn't it default to the stock? So it is holding the 20 EMA. We're right at that daily resistance level of 547, 550. We have the second daily resistance level at 575. So we would ideally look for it to break 575, and then it would have a bit of room, maybe up to, well, I don't know. This could be another resistance level right there. 607, 606. I mean, this is kind of a choppy stock, I'm going to be honest. But it is holding. The news is good. I'm not sure. So 8 a.m.'s come and gone. We're waiting for 8:30 now. AUUD coming back up a little bit. Oh, why did I mark 224? Must have been a level of resistance. 225 is the $0.25 anyways. The problem I have with AUD is that it's very thickly traded, but it's their third leading gainer. 80,000 share seller coming out on the ask on AUD. I just don't know if I like how thickly traded this stock is. Might consider it if it breaks over 225, but I don't know. It doesn't have much range. It has like a 10-cent range. I don't know. I think I'm just waiting for 8:30. Stock that's supposedly supposed to have 500,000 share float is trading almost 50 million shares for the day so far. It's like 100 times float turnover. Breaks 225. I'm just not interested in how thickly traded it is. Like, this breaks 225 and goes up 5 cents. It's not easy to trade. The best entry here would have been 215 for this ABCD pattern, holding 210. Grindy, grindy. Grindy price action. Is this going to start finally pulling away? Doesn't seem that way. Closes with a gravestone. Four minutes to 8:30. Just waiting. Hey, Spooky. It's been going well, besides the fact that the week has been so dead. I started my small count challenge on Monday, but the moment I started trading with real money, we got a super slow week. I did this to myself, though, so it is what it is. How's your trading been going? Oh, you took the last 2 weeks off? Well, you certainly did not miss much. So it ended up being a good decision. The last 2 days for me have been, well, not the last 2 days. Yesterday I got a small green day, just barely scalping something off the open. But it almost ended up being a third no trade day in a row because I didn't trade on Tuesday or Wednesday. Monday was a small loss because we got a stock. Stock did go up 100%, but it was a bit more expensive and easy to borrow and trading really choppy. And today, well, we'll see if we get anything at 8:30. Otherwise, it's just going to be probably another no trade day. Things have been popping off during regular hours, though. Yeah, at least during pre-market, it's been quiet. During regular hours and after hours, later in the evening, there have been a few stocks that went up like 1,000%, 3,000%. It's really weird how there are some stocks that can pop up that much, but pre-market has been so dead. Like Walk popped up here. Like walk popped up from 19 cents up to $6 during regular hours. And then it did it again the next day. It came all the way back down, and then it went from $1 up to $12, and then it sold off. We had TDIC during regular hours, went from $4 all the way up to $35, and then it came all the way back down yesterday. And we had a few other stocks do this. It's been like an after hours, regular hours, Chinese stock theme, but there's just been absolutely nothing during pre-market. It's very weird. Oops, I mean maximize that. Set that. Yeah, if you could see the future, someone could easily make a few $1,000,000 off of walk, even with a small account. Like buying down at 20 cents, like 20 cents to $8, and then $1 to $30. You buy that on the way up and then short it on the way down. Make so much money on that. But how could anyone ever predict that? Basically a meme stock. JZXN popping up here, but it's cheaper, and I don't particularly like JZXN. It is a Chinese stock, which has kind of been a theme, but not a particularly easy stock to trade. Kind of a notorious stock for being another trash stock. I don't think I'm going to touch this one either. SLE popping up here. This is the one that I didn't want to touch earlier. We'll see if it holds here, 610. I don't like the topping tails. Ross managed to catch the pop there. But this is a stock I said earlier that I'm not particularly comfortable trading. I mean, maybe if this bull flag holds, I could buy for the break of 631 on the 1 minute. But I don't know. I'm not very confident in this particular stock. The news is just earnings news on an already kind of trashy stock. Yeah. I don't know. My discipline muscle is telling me not to touch this one. I'm just conflicted because we've had like nothing all day, so this is the first opportunity. It doesn't feel right though. Yeah. I just have a feeling this is gonna false breakout. Hmm. Can I really trust this stock? I don't know. Ross seems to trust it. He's trading it. This would be an ABCD pattern here if that closes as a hammer. It does have higher volume buying, but it's decreasing volume. We're also having JZXN soaking up some volume here. Bit of dispersed attention. We do have a hammer forming on the 5 minute here. And it's been holding 610. Maybe a breakthrough 650. Let's see a move up to 675. It formed with a topping tail though on the 5 minute. I don't know. I think the best solution is if I don't know, I don't trade it. Because I could be leaving money on the table here, but which it looks like I did. But I think it's better to preserve capital than it is to risk something on stock that you're not sure about. Like I said, this stock you could make a little bit of money on it, but what's the downside risk? Earlier back here, there was a bunch of high volume rejections. At any point, short sellers could step in and this thing could just plummet. Because this isn't a good stock. This is a trash stock with a history of selling off. It's just earnings news. And like I said, it pops up there and then now it's coming back down. So I don't think it's worth it. Could you have made a little bit of money from 650 up to 675? Sure. But this small account challenge isn't about making money. It's about keeping my head above water, preserving my capital, and trading only the best quality. So, I mean, it's been our only opportunity today, but I'd rather take no trades and trade something that I know is sub quality and then get smoked on it for 25 cents a profit. Even if I traded down here, like I couldn't guarantee that it would break through 650 because we have the volume profile looks terrible. Decreasing volume. So I think I'm just going to leave it alone. If we don't get any news at 9, then I'm just going to take a no trade day. Unless there's something holding up at the open that I could be interested in for another gap and go scalp. Ross ended up making 4,000 bucks on it, but he took, I think, 3 or 4 separate trades on it. He's not going to be up very much after commissions. Looks like he got in around 625. Doesn't show the time. Yeah, I think it was back here on this spike back there. For the breakthrough high of day. Maybe on this first pullback. I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns on this one though. I don't think it's a good stock. Yeah, and what Spooky says is right. Like for me to make a decent amount on this, I would have to take full position size, but I already don't have any trades on the day. High likelihood that if I take full position size just to make any money on it, I get smoked. Ross took how much? 20,000 shares. We'll see. Hopefully we get news at 9 a.m. It's interesting how this stock is holding the previous high of 610, forming a hammer on the 5 minute. This would be more like a setup I would be willing to trade for Hammer forming for the breakthrough 650 and a retest of high of day. I just don't know if I can trust it. Being a little bit stubborn on this stock, but just really in my tolerance range. Stock is a bit expensive. It's been creeping up recently. Eight minutes to 9 a.m. This is more of an obvious setup to traders now, but We'll see here on SCLE. I mean, the setup above 650 is a bit more obvious now because we have this flat top. So even though the stock isn't strong, I mean, it could at least retest hype day for 25 cents. If MACD curls back positive, maybe. Def another no trade day. Yeah, it could be. I'm still not sure about this stock, but it is about to curl positive on MACD. This is a very obvious setup. It's holding above the previous high. It would have worked. Yeah, it's just too bad that I can't stick around for after hours since I have to work. So a breakthrough 650 would have worked there. I mean, I could have taken the trade. I mean, by no means do I think the stock is going to pull away and go parabolic. I mean, do you guys think I'm being too picky? Like I could have gone in at the breakthrough 650, taken profit up at 680. I just don't feel like the stock is trustworthy. The last thing I want to do right now on a Friday, I mean, this could be my fear of loss talking, right? This could be more emotional than it is logical. But I don't want to take a loss on Friday at 9 a.m. here when we have no more opportunities for the day. Get in for 650 just for it to be a false breakout and then be red on the week. I don't have a cushion on the week. And I already have my own opinions about the stock that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if I'm being too picky or not, but Ross seems to be trading it. Even though he ended up red on his first couple of trades, he still continued to trade it. And he made money on it. Ross said in his one recap that it's better to take trades in stocks that you're confident in. Yeah, if I'm not confident in this, then I'm not going to perform as well. That's true. His risk tolerance is different. Right now, my risk tolerance is a lot lower than his, considering I don't. Yeah, I just started the small account challenge. The risks are a lot higher for me right now. Very clearly saw this setup. I'm just, you know, this has been the goal of my small account challenge is extreme selectiveness in the stocks that I'm willing to trade. Quality over quantity. That is true. Spooky. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The stakes for me making a mistake here on a stock that, I already said before this thing even started moving up here, I said, don't get trapped on this stock. This is a trap stock, a garbage stock. It's just earnings news. Like it's not going to go parabolic. It's going to pop up and then go sideways and then pop up and go sideways. Like, yes, you can make a little bit of money on the pop if you can catch it. But if you're wrong and you get in where you're not supposed to get in and you go red, and me in particular right now, if I go red trading a stock that I said earlier in the day that I shouldn't be trading in terms of like my stock selection, then I'm going to get discouraged because then I'm not going to be able to have any opportunity to make the loss back. Then I'm going to be red on the week because I had two no trade days, one small green day, one small red day. And then I'll be coming back on Monday feeling, not feeling good the whole week because I just ended the week red, my first week of small account challenge. And then that could turn into a spiral on Monday when I come back. I won't be feeling as confident to take a trade on a stock that actually meets all the five pillars and has good news. I might not perform as well because I'll be feeling discouraged from the previous week. I might be hesitant to jump into a trade that is a lot better than this one. Yeah, I need to build up a buffer for uh for the week before I can be confident jumping into stuff that's a little bit riskier like this. Right now the stakes are too high to make a mistake. If this was like Wednesday, if today was Wednesday, then I'd probably be like, all right, well, I have 2 more days to make the week back green, or Tuesday or Monday. But today's Friday. It's Friday. There's tons of dispersed attention. It's a trashy stock. Just started my small account challenge. I don't have a buffer in the week. I think the circumstance today, just all things considered, I think it was the right decision not to take a trade on this and just stick to my guns, saying it's just not worth it. I do have confidence in the strategy now. I think I've back tested enough, and I also have the Ross to lean back on. He's doing the exact same strategy as me. He's just a bit looser with his selection because his ability to read level 2 and get in entries quick, exits quick is a lot better than mine. So he can afford to be a little bit riskier with his entries and his stocks that he's choosing. But I do have pretty much the same strategy as him now after back testing and narrowing down, getting rid of everything that wasn't working. I'm confident in the strategy, but I'm not yet confident as a beginner trader in being able to execute the strategy. In a vacuum, I know I could do it for sure, um, with enough practice. I do feel like I can see the setups clearly now. I know the selection, I know the setups. This is a mental battle. No hesitation in getting into the stuff that matters and being aggressive in the stocks that matter, and then taking my foot off the gas in the stocks that are a bit riskier, and keeping that emotional self control and discipline. Right here, I see another setup forming since we're holding this 650 level, forming a hammer, but MACD is negative. At this point, I think I've made the decision not to take any more trades. So even if it crawls back up here and breaks 675, I don't think I'm gonna touch it. I'd rather come back next week with a fresh mindset, fresh new week, and hope that the next week just gives us more news so I can build a bit more of a buffer. Like I said, I can see the setups. I can call the setups. this would have worked right here for the break back through 650 with that curl up to back up to 683 on that hammer on the 5-minute. Could have gotten a quick scalp from 650 up to 680. Oops. Do that. Move the arrow back a little bit. We curled back up, retested, formed a 5-minute candle close. Well, there's a number of factors why I'm not confident in this stock. So it's not particularly overextended right now. We've been going kind of sideways here. The problem with this setup is that MACD was negative, so it's a higher risk of being a false breakout. So if anything, you would have had to take a quick scalp just for the curl, not expecting it to break through 660 up to 685. Since I don't have a buffer on the day, I don't really want to take scalps below high of day with MACD negative because they're riskier. But the reason why I don't have confidence in the stock in the first place is because of the news. It's just financial results. I think it was up 30%. Like 30% isn't very much. And the stock itself, since it's the beginning of time, has just been a stock that's sold off. It's done 1 billion reverse splits. You can see on the daily, it's at, high as over 100,000. It's just a stock that's a pop and dropper. Like it pops up and then it sells off. So earnings news on a stock that's already not doing well isn't really great news. And previously here, you can see all these topping tails. So even today, it had a history of rejections earlier, popping up, dropping down, popping up, dropping down, popping up, dropping down. Did this 4 times earlier until it finally did a squeeze back through VWAP. And then it's kind of mostly just been going sideways here. Like, yes, there have been opportunities for when it breaks through these levels, but it's not a stock that's going to go parabolic. So my risk reward ratio on it isn't going to be as high as it normally is. The pros of this stock are that it's in the price range that I like, and it's a 1 million share float. And it is up 68% now, bringing it to our 4th leading gainer. And now here, a breakthrough 7 would be kind of obvious. 704. The sector is also just media. It's not a very particularly enticing sector either. Ross took a trade on the false breakout. He's still holding. If it breaks back through, if it breaks back through 83 here, then he's going to be up on it. His cost basis is 82. So he bought for the break of this level here, 83, but it just came back down. He's still holding it. We'll see how the trade turns out. He's setting some profit targets. So it comes back up. Um, he's getting in for this curl, expecting it to break through 5 day. He made a little bit on that curl there. But this is by no means easy to trade. I feel like trading a stock like this is more expert level stuff. I'm gonna be honest. Definitely not for beginners. It could be the case. It's hard to say. Yeah, I'm not sure. But one thing I will say is that how many shares did he take? I can't see, his screen is kind of covering it now. I'm not sure how many shares he took, but I would honestly say that, like, I think he entered right around here. Some of these 10-second candles are probably entirely him and his followers almost. Probably the majority of whatever candle he jumped in here is cons- constituted by his volume and the volume of people who are trying to mirror trade him. Curl back up. I mean, he was holding, so I don't know if curl back up could have been influenced, but I mean, this is pretty light volume. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a no trade day for me. I'd rather come back next week with a fresh mindset. Hopefully, a fresh week, a week that doesn't have two no trade days in a row. The easiest money trade today would have been this break of the flat top. That was the most obvious one for me from 650 up to 7. But the rest of these trades were not obvious at all. They were more like expert level trades. Or, I mean, trades that were influenced and kind of fluffed up. It could be. I can't say for sure, but all right, Spooky. Thanks for stopping by again. I'll see you next time on Monday. Yeah, have a good one. I hope so too. We're getting awfully close to the PDT rule change, just 3 weeks away. So if we can hold tight for another couple of weeks, maybe by then it'll be heating up. But until then, it's just we gotta survive. But yeah, have a good one. So it's 5 minutes to the opening bell. Our top five leading gainers aren't looking great. This is a stock that made a move during a previous day. Very close to the opening bell. Only up 14%. I don't think I'm going to trade it. I think I'm going to watch AUUD here, considering it held above VWAP. It's only 30 cents to high of day. So the stock being thickly traded means that the volume at the opening bell is going to make this a little bit easier to trade. It'll be moving a bit quicker. And it does have good news. It's our fourth leading gainer. I still don't like SLE. I have a feeling that it would just kind of sell off at the open. So I'm more interested in what happens to AUUD here. So we don't trade the first 2 to 3 minutes of the open as a rule. We wait to see what it does. And the other leading gainers I'm not interested in. They're either too cheap or have no news. Continuation from a previous day. So if AUUD doesn't give us something, then I'm probably just going to call it for the week. We're bouncing off that $2 level. So we got quite a bit of buying volume coming back up through VWAP. What I'm waiting for is confirmation that that 5 minute candle is going to close green. As I expected, SLE halted down. I mean, this technically was a red to green move on the 10-second near. I just prefer multi-time frame alignment, so it didn't look very good on the 1 minute. So the place that you would enter for this would be a break back through VWAP, a reclaim of VWAP. And $2 there, $2 up to 215. See what happens down here. It could bounce off 193 again, come back up for double bottom. I'm not going to buy down here because we already had one red to green move. I want to bank on a second one. do. The HCWB has been moving a little bit. Halted up at the open. It has all of the volume, 264%. This stock was also financial results, but it's up 270%. Biotech. I was 135. It's just a bit cheaper. PIII suddenly halted up. So AUUD is just selling off now. SLE sold off. What is the news on this stock being up 60%? It's earnings reports again. Resuming flat. I don't know if I'm interested in trading these cheaper stocks at the open. And PIII is just resuming flat here. It halted up at halted at 645. It's resuming at 647, 945. So I'm also not willing to risk trading a dip and rip on it. It does have a bit of room here. To like 9 maybe. But it's just earnings news. I don't know if it's strong enough. AUD making a comeback a little bit. Yeah, PII resumed and then kind of sold off there for a second. But it's coming back up, 668, 684. So dip and rip would have actually worked on it, but it's pretty scary. Pretty scary up here. Drop down, popped up, drop down, popped up. Big range. So we actually had a red to green move here. I kind of stopped paying attention to AUD, which was a mistake because I thought it was just selling off. So I started looking at other stocks, but that's a nice candle on the 5 minute that I probably would have bought for the break back through VWAP up to 213. Granted, I mean, this isn't very much range. It's a 10 cents of range. It's not like I'm going to make a killing on this. But it was an opportunity nonetheless for entry right there. And now it's giving us a huge rejection. 228 all the way down to 210, 18 cents. That's pretty big considering the amount of size that you would have to take for this stock to make any money on it, considering that its range is only 10 or 15 cents. It's basically trading like a $1 stock. So I would have to take 200 shares on this to make any decent profit. But the thing is, I don't really want to take that risk right now. Like I said earlier, today's Friday. I was hoping that we would get a stock that could pop up with news that, checked all the boxes. We didn't really have anything like that. SLE was the easiest, quote unquote, easiest money today, being the only stock that wasn't cheap, that wasn't a grinder. But I mean, it kind of was a grinder in a certain sense too. I just didn't trust it. And I don't think I trust these stocks either. So, I don't know. I think I'm just going to call it. I don't want to make a mistake and go red on a Friday and have a red week. When we're beginners, our psychology is much more important than making money. Surviving until the market warms up is much more important than taking a big risk to snag 10 or 15 cents on a week where you could go red. It's just not the week. Even Ross ended the week basically break even. He was down $7,000 the other day. He just made it back today. Yeah, 2 no trade days, and Monday he was only up like a couple thousand. So, I mean, I'm up a few bucks this week, up like $4 or $5, which is basically break even. But it's still a green week, even if it is only $4. I survived this week. There's a lot of people who can't say that. But I maintained discipline. I left some money on the table, so I didn't take the risk. It is what it is. We'll come back next week, fresh mindset. Basically the same P&L that I started with at the beginning of my small account challenge, plus a few bucks. So I'll be ready when the opportunity hits, when a stock that looks good shows up, and take some risk on it. But I think for now, that's going to be it for me. No trades. I'll be back at it on Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, as per usual. But until then, take care, stay green. See you next time.